Hi, it's Vex, and let me talk about the worst mechanic they have made for Commander EDH. That's right, I thought it couldn't get any worse, but they did it in Commander Legends 2. This is the worst mechanic. Right here, the initiative. Look how many lines it is. Whenever one or more creatures a player controls deals combat damage to you, that player takes the initiative. When you take the initiative, and at the beginning of your upkeep, venture into the Undercity. Then it says, if you're in a dungeon, advance to the next room. If you're not, enter Undercity. You can take the initiative even if you already have it. That means you can just venture into another dungeon. If you have watched my videos, you've seen me mention over and over again, have your tokens. This mechanic forces you to have 13 tokens, one for the initiative, one Undercity for each player, right here, a treasure token for each player, because part of the Undercity is create a treasure token, right? And then this guy right here, Catacombs, a skeleton token for each player, because each one could create a skeleton token. 13 tokens. One mechanic, 13 tokens. Not only that, you need dice, lots of dice, because you need to track where you are in the Undercity. And then the Undercity also grants +1/+1 counters and more +1/+1 counters. So you need like lots of things for this one mechanic, and it's not as good as the original mechanic. What they did is they took the best mechanic in EDH, the Monarchy, right here. Let's say Queen Marchesa is my Monarch commander. It's really cool. I love it. ETB, you become the Monarch. At the beginning of your end step, draw a card. Then whenever a creature deals combat damage to you, its controller becomes the Monarch. That's it. You just move this little crown back and forth, one token, one prop. That's it. Not like this, where you have to have all these props. Now, you can say, Vex, you're ridiculous. You can simplify this. I'm like, I understand. I can simplify this to, one initiative, one Undercity, one treasure, and one skeleton. But where would you put this Undercity? In the middle of your life counter, in the middle of the mat to share? So that's very impractical. I think each person has to have an Undercity token, so that at the least you could do is 4, 5, 6, 7 tokens total. That's ridiculous. My box doesn't carry that many more tokens. And as you know me, you always have to have the token. With the Monarch, it's simple. You have one Monarchy token. Another issue I have with the initiative is, with the Monarchy, it's simple, right? You get the Monarch to draw a card at end of turn. Period. That's it. That's all it does. Now you have to say, do I want the initiative? Because I have to figure out what it does. See here, search for a basic land card reveal and put it in your hand. So that's the first thing, secret entrance. And then if I wanted, Forge or Lost Well, then Trap, Arena, Stash, Archives, Catacombs, Throne of the Dead 3. It's just look at all this text on one mechanic. It's not as simple. I wish the initiative was like, put a +1/+1 counter on a creature you control or something simple. Then on top of having the Undercity as a new dungeon, the only way to get to this new dungeon is through the initiative. But if you're already in a dungeon, let's say you play a D&D deck with Acererak, the Archlich, with the 3 original dungeons, Lost Mine, Temple of Annihilation, and Dungeon of the Mad Mage. Now you would just keep traveling through these dungeons, but Acererak can't put you into Undercity, so it's even more confusing situation. And with this, you also have to have your tokens here too. It's not as bad as the initiative token, where you need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You need 8 tokens because these are your own dungeons. You don't have to worry about giving your opponents dungeons. There is the extreme case if they steal your card. However, if you play it right, your opponents probably will never touch your dungeon cards. So the non-backwards compatibility with the original dungeon and the Undercity is very, very annoying, because if you're in the Undercity, for instance, you're in this room right here, you play Acererak, you can't, go to the Tomb of Annihilation, that's the one you want to go to. You have to keep traveling down to Undercity. But if you're completely the Undercity, if you play Acererak, I hope I'm saying it right, the Archlich, it's called the Archlich, that's what I'm calling it. You can't go back into the Undercity. You have to go into like another one of these guys, maybe like Tomb of Annihilation. It's just a lot of text for very little gain. They could have just made it simple. At the end of each turn, you make a treasure token, since they're playing on treasure, and that's it. The initiative could have just been when you take the initiative, you get a treasure, and then at the beginning of your upkeep or end of turn, you get a treasure. I wish it was also end of turn too, just to match up with the Monarch trigger, so they both trigger at the same time. But of course, they want to do it at your upkeep, which is weird because I think the reason they did that is when you initially get the initiative, it triggers right away, so you don't have to wait, and then once you trigger another time on a different turn. The unfortunate part is they actually printed a card that's very useful with the initiative. It just has it tacked on here. Explore the Underdark. I do have a Gates deck, which I will have a deck tech coming up soon. 4 in green. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards and or gate cards. Put them in the battlefield, tapped and shuffle. This is insanely good in a Gates deck, and unfortunately, because I'm always all about the token, you take the initiative. That stupid line of text now forces me to have at least 7 new tokens to bring with the deck just for the one card. And then, each opponent might not even take the initiative. It's not as good as Monarch either. It's almost impossible to play the initiative without the Undercity. Sometimes people would play, maybe just the dungeons themselves and maybe like upside down card. Like an upside down card here for a treasure token or whatever, or an Infi token. You really can't play this without a token. So now they have a mechanic that requires you to have a token. Because Monarch, you could just turn something upside down, track that as a Monarch. But it's just you can't play this mechanic without the token. That's basically what I'm saying. Now, the previous worst mechanic, I think, in EDH, it wasn't designed for EDH. Maybe it was the day-night cycle, which I had to track if it's day-night during each opponent's turn all the time. It was really annoying. But now the initiative is now the worst mechanic. If you think I'm wrong, if you think I'm over-exaggerating, tell me in the comments below. Tell me what you think the worst EDH mechanic is that was specifically designed for EDH. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification button to be alerted for new videos in the future. And as always, have a wonderful day.